Hi beautiful people, welcome to another video. My name is Danny, and on this channel we talk about bettering yourself inside and out. So if that's something you're interested in, then hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video with me. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, DM me with any questions that you might have. I would love to have a conversation with you. So let's get into it. This is episode 2 of the series I created where we follow along with my book. This is a journal, but this is my book, where we follow along with my book called Full of Yourself, a guide to becoming your most audacious self. And last week we spoke about what being full of yourself means to me and just kind of created like a whole outline basically on my book and where to find it. So moving on to this week, I would like to speak about your time and your space. And when I say time, I mean how are you spending your time and who are you spending it with? And when I say space, I mean how does your space feel? How does your environment feel? How is that affecting you? As a recovering people pleaser, I feel like this topic is so important, especially with the time, because people can steal from your time and you're not even completely aware of what's happening until it's the end of the day and you're like, I'm exhausted, but I got nothing done. My to-do list is still full, I haven't checked anything off, but I feel as if I've ran a marathon and haven't gotten sleep in like a week. And that is because you're drained, and that's because a lot of people are taking your time from you. And of course, we have our own responsibility in this. We also give our time and we're not setting up the boundaries. I categorize these people into 3 different archetypes. Number 1, the white rabbit. Number 2, the time bandit. And number 3, the guilt tripper. But I will go over some ideas as far as what to do to combat each of these archetypes. One more thing to keep in mind is that we all can display characteristics of each of these archetypes. So I know for sure I have displayed many times characteristics of the white rabbit, which I'll get into detail what that means. But the important thing is to remember that's okay, because we're here now and we're doing the work and we're going to take our time back and we're going to utilize it to the best of our abilities and put up those boundaries and just live our most bold and baddest life. It is very important to look at this as a whole, like where your time is going, and see, are the people in your life taking from your time and your self-development, or is it not a big deal? So that's where you have to pay attention to it and see it for what it is. But I want to get into detail and explain each of these archetypes. First is the white rabbit. Most of us remember the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. He is a waistcoat wearing rabbit. Super cute. Super frantic, gives off this anxious energy, unprepared, unorganized, sloppy, running around, yelling, I'm late, for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye, I'm late. Now, I know people who have come into my life and have displayed the white rabbit characteristics, just as I said I have, where you didn't plan the night before, you're all over the place, you're running late, you're anxious, you're irritated, nothing goes right, everything is crazy, and the only person you have to blame is yourself. As I'm explaining each of these archetypes, I want you to think about, pay attention to see if somebody comes to mind and if that person is displaying one of these archetypes, or maybe all of them, or maybe it's you. Either way, pay attention to what pops up in your mind as I'm giving more information about each of these archetypes. The next one is the time bandit, and the time bandit they're harmless, they mean no harm, they're not malicious, they just want to hang out. They don't have anything going on for themselves, they're bored. Maybe it's your best friend who wants to sit there all night talking about her boy issues. Maybe it's your boyfriend who wants to watch another episode of your guys' favorite show, even though you know you have to wake up the next day super early, so you need to go to bed. Maybe it's your child trying to distract you from the inevitable bedtime. Either way, it's someone who is just, there's no rhyme or reason, they just want your time. And that's perfectly fine. When it comes to the time bandit, you're going to want to schedule time and you're going to want to set boundaries. Right now, we're trying to figure out where your time is going, what's happening, Who is it escaping to? Who are you giving it to? The last one is the guilt tripper. This one is a little bit more complicated because they might not know what they're doing. They might not understand how much manipulation is going into this relationship. And sometimes that's okay, because once you give them the idea, like, hey, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like the manipulation. I don't want to be forced into doing something through my emotions. Then sometimes they'll lay off. Sometimes it's a little bit more complicated than that, and they will need to be set free. When it comes to the guilt tripper, they are constantly making you feel like shit because you're not doing something for their gain. Maybe your mom is upset with you because you are not going to get your aunt from the airport, but you have all these papers due for school and you're so overwhelmed. Or maybe, you know, it's the typical story of the parent who's like, you're gonna go to the school I went to because that's the one I went to, and you're gonna be just like me, and if you don't, I'm gonna have a terrible relationship with you. I don't know if that's gonna make it, but you know what I mean? Like, they're just guilting you and manipulating you into doing something they want you to do. So that's what I'm saying, like, sometimes they might not fully understand what it is they're doing, but they're doing it. It is manipulation, and it is a problem. So now that I've kind of given a brief description on each of the archetypes, hopefully you have in mind someone, or maybe it's you, like I said, some situation you kind of have an idea where your time is going and who is either taking it from you or you're willingly giving it to them. Once you have the idea of who is this, whoever the archetype is, whether it's the guilt tripper, the white rabbit, the time bandit, all of them, whatever, it doesn't matter. Find out who it is that is taking your time from you. What is taking your time from you? In order to combat each of these archetypes, the biggest thing to remember is boundaries. That's it. That's the biggest thing to remember. And these boundaries are not going to only be for them. They're going to also be for you. Because I know how it is to put in a boundary and then you kind of feel like, I don't know if I could keep to my boundary just because like I feel bad, but that boundary is for you and it's also for them. Once you have a boundary in place, that person is going to respect you so much more. You're going to respect yourself, and it's going to create a whole new dynamic between you and this person, or between you and yourself. Imagine you are the one who is creating all these time issues. If that's the case, that is fine. We create boundaries, we set goals, we write lists out, and we figure it out. That's going to create so much more self-esteem, so much more self-confidence and belief in yourself, and so much more respect for you to you, which is an amazing feeling. So as I said before, with each of these archetypes, we must implement boundaries. And once you have the idea of who this person is, you have a clear conversation with them of what you want to get across. If it is the white rabbit and they're feeling a little all over the place, a little anxious all the time, every time they come to say pick you up for work, or they come to your house and they are just all over the place, just have a sit down. Tell them, hey, I feel like you need to have a little bit more time to plan your day. If it's yourself, you need to implement more time for yourself. Figure out what you can do to create a better schedule for you, for all the things you need to take care of, so you're not running around like the white rabbit. When it comes to the time bandit, this one's really easy because all you gotta do is just schedule time with them. That's all they want. They want your one-on-one time. If you are having a problem with your boyfriend wanting to watch way too many shows at night when you know you have to go to sleep, tell him, say, I'm tired. You can watch as many shows as you want to, but I'm gonna go to sleep. And what we can do is we can have a Friday night where we watch movies and shows all night long. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta schedule time in for them and make sure you implement your boundaries as far as like, I'm not gonna stay awake and watch these shows with you. I need the sleep. And when it comes to the guilt tripper, this one, you're gonna have to let them understand that what they're doing, you don't like it. You don't wanna be manipulated, obviously. So you're going to implement boundaries for them and for you. If you tell me you want something and I say, no, I cannot do it, and you get upset, I'm not gonna hold that to me. I'm gonna let it go because it's not my problem. I said, no, I couldn't. okay? The boundaries have to be strong for you and for them in order to create any lasting change. And I promise you, it will feel so amazing. Moving on to space. And by space, I mean your environment, where you spend majority of your time. How does it feel? How does it make you feel? Do you feel lazy on a day-to-day basis? Are you feeling unmotivated? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Like, what is it that you're feeling? So taking note of how the energy is and just like how you feel in your space. How does your home feel? How does your purse feel? How does your bedroom feel? Your car, your desk, your work bag, your backpack, whatever it is. How does the thing that's with you most, the thing that's in your environment most, how does it make you feel? How do you feel when you wake up in your room? Do you feel happy? Do you feel like it's so dark and you just want to go back to bed? Do you feel like overwhelmed because it's so messy? What is it that you're feeling? Take note of it, realize that, and understand that your space and your environment are very, very, very crucial to your mental health. When we allow laundry to stack up and dishes to stack up and junk drawers to fill and our purses to get full of receipts and crumbs and all of these things, this is heavy on us. It's heavy on us. It's heavy on our mental health, and it's not good for us. So I know how I feel when my room is unorganized, or I have laundry in my closet, or I haven't, scrubbed my bathroom in a couple days, or whatever the situation is. If my home or my room that I spend the most of my time in is not up to what I feel is right, I feel overwhelmed. I feel irritated for no reason. I feel lazy and just wanted to, not do anything. So I think it's very important for us to curate a very amazing space that feels good, is clean, it's organized. It takes the mental load off of us, because of someone's house, you go into it and it's just dirty. Let's just say it for what it is. It's a dirty house. It's got clutter everywhere, and it's just, you could tell it hasn't been swept or mopped in a long time. I feel claustrophobic. I feel just like this environment is not a space that I will feel comfortable in. So why would you want that for yourself? So get up and get cleaning. Make a list of all the things you have to do. Start small, work your way up. It doesn't matter if it's slow progress, it's still progress. But cleaning your room, cleaning up all your space, organizing everything is essential to your mental health. Once you are done actually physically cleaning up your space, cleaning out your closet, cleaning out your junk drawers, putting your laundry away, making your bed in the morning if you so choose. People are very up and down about that. I love to, clearly. Having a clean space. Once it's all cleaned, you've swept, you've mopped, you've dusted, you've gotten rid of the crap you don't need, the things you do not need in your life. Then what I like to do is I like to use something to cleanse the energy. And I will usually use sage, Palo Santos, incense, and even visualization can work with this too. And I'll take my utensil, whether it's a sage or an incense, and I'll wave it around, and I'll go, and you have to be in a good feeling vibration for this. You can't feel like shit, otherwise it's not gonna work. You're gonna want to be at least somewhat feeling good. You just cleaned, you maybe have some good music on, you go around with your utensil, whether it's sage, Palo Santos, or an incense, or you just sit here and you think about it. And you go into your rooms, mentally or physically, and you say, I am clearing any negative or stagnant energy from this space and replacing it with positive, loving energy. Wave your smoke around, do what you're doing, and then move on to the next room. I like to start in my closet because it's the highest point that I started in the house, and I go around the upstairs, and then I make my way downstairs, and I go around the downstairs, and I even hit the garage. So that's my thing. Lately I've been using an incense, but I do love Palo Santos. I know sage, you have to be very careful about where you get sage because it has to be ethically resourced, and sometimes it's a little hard to find out if it actually is or not from a particular place that you buy it from. Like, say I seen it at Five Below, and I'm pretty sure it's probably not the best sage to buy, if it even is sage, who knows. But there are a lot of spirit shops around your town, in your community, close to you. If you look it up on Google, you could find somewhere, and just go get some sage or some Palo Santos or even an incense. And the smoke, you just have to visualize the fact that this stagnant energy is leaving. You're getting motion in there. You're getting some momentum to get out the stagnant energy, and you're replacing it with something positive. And that's the key, is to replace it with the something positive. And then once you do this, come back, let me know how it goes, because I'm very curious, especially if you've never done it before. Because as soon as I do a really good deep clean to my home and then I sage it, it feels so amazing. Incredible. One last thing before I wrap everything up is your purse. I mentioned your purse with the crumbs, with the receipts. If you're a parent, you might have a couple toys in there, whatever the situation is. It's very important that where your money is being put, whether it's your cards, cash, change, it doesn't matter. The sidekick you have on your shoulder, it needs to have a good positive energy around it. So make sure it doesn't have holes and it's not coming apart. You can even go to Ross or Marshall's or Burlington or somewhere, even Amazon. I've gotten purses off Amazon for like $8, and they're just plain little purses, super cute, and you can do that. So I mean, purses do not have to be expensive if you don't want them to be, but having a nice purse that's not ripped, it does not have holes, organizing things in there. If you have to do a weekly clean out, do that, because that's very important to not let all the outside crap get into your purse. That's where you carry your money. It's where you carry your beauty utensils, maybe lotion, some lipstick. You put your cell phone in there sometimes, whatever it is. These are like important things, and you want to protect it, and you want to respect where your money goes. Having your purse be clutter-free, be crumb-free. Even if you have to put a little baggie of snacks in there, it's in a baggie. Make sure it stays like that. If you have a toy you have to bring for your child, that's fine, do so. But my point being is that that is where our money goes. That's where our money is kept and held, which, by the way, make sure all your bills are facing the same way. Folded nicely, put into your wallet. Make sure your change is put into a specific area. And just make sure where you're putting your money and the purse that you're holding every single day, many times throughout the day, because we put it on our shoulder every time we leave the house or whatever we're doing. Make sure it looks good, it feels good, and it has a positive energy. And this, I promise you, will help so much with how your money comes in, how your money goes out, all the things. You'll just feel so much better. So to sum everything up, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that each of the archetypes I spoke about earlier, that we can sometimes willingly give our time to, or even display those traits ourselves, the biggest thing to remember is boundaries. Once you have an idea of who is taking your time or where it's being flooded out of your life, then you write a list, if you so please, and you decide, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm not gonna do. You implement those boundaries, and it'll show respect for you and for them. They will respect you, you will respect you, everybody wins. Boundaries are exactly what we need, and we will hold true to them. As far as your space goes, like I said before, just remember, slow progress is still progress. You can get your whole entire home clean within a couple days or within a couple weekends. Start with your closet. Start going through all of your clothes, all the things that don't matter to you, or you just like don't know if you can part with, but you don't want them in your closet anymore. Fold them up and put them in a bag. Put them in the garage. If you want to go back to it later on, then go recycle them out, go ahead. Bottom line, slow progress is still progress. Start somewhere and get this house clean, get your home clean, get your car clean, your purse, all of the things. Make sure they're organized. It'll take so much off your mind. It'll clear up so much more space for you to be able to think about what you could do to become that much better every single day. Because you're not like, oh my gosh, I need to clean my bathroom. Oh my gosh, I need to put my laundry away. It's like you've already done it. It's clean. You're good. Your house feels amazing because you cleaned and you saged it, or you used an incense, or I sat here and I thought about my whole home being protected by how amazing my energy is and how no bad energy can come in. Like, that is a visualization that you can also look into. So If you have any questions about anything that I said, please put them in the comments. I'm more than happy to respond. I would love to have a conversation about this. I would love to know what you use to cleanse your energy in your home. I'd love to know what kind of boundaries you're implementing. I would just love to have a conversation about all of it, because that would just mean the world to me. Thank you for making it this far in the video. I feel like it's probably going to be a pretty long video, but that's okay. And this is episode 2 of the series that I'm making, where we follow along with my book. I'm on Amazon, it's on Kindle, it's on barnesandnoble.com. Hopefully it could be more places soon. But if you'd like to pick up your copy, so that way you can go along with it, tune in next week, because we are going to be speaking about the next chapter, which is being full of yourself with love and relationships. I'm so excited about this one too. So until next time,